All right, so today I'm going to look at factorizing or factorization. All right, before I do that, I'm just going to take us back to something that we've done already called expansion when we were doing algebra before. Okay, so previously when we were doing algebra, you might get a question like this: 5 brackets 2 plus 3x, and you'd be asked to expand that. Okay, expanding that expression just means multiplying it out. Okay, so 5 multiplied by 2 is 10, and 5 multiplied by 3x, don't forget to multiply by the other thing in the bracket, so 5 multiplied by 3x is 15x. All right, the second one down here, if I was asked to expand this, it would be 4x multiplied by 3, which is 12x. 4x multiplied by 5y, 4 by 5 is 20, x by y is just xy. That's that. Expanded. Last one in here, 2x squared on 3x plus 5, so 2x squared by 3x, 2 by 3 is 6, x squared multiplied by x, so x is the same as x to the power of 1, and x squared multiplied by x to the power of 1 is x to the power of 3. Okay, you can just add the powers. 2x squared then multiplied by 5 is 10x squared. Okay, so as I say, we've done that already, and that's called expansion. All right, so when you start with this and you multiply it out and get this as your answer, that's called expansion. All factorizing is starting with this and going back to this. Okay, so in factorizing, you will be given these as the questions and expected to get back to this. Okay, so factorizing is just like the reverse process of expansion. All right, so I'm going to do a few examples. And the first ones are here. Okay, so you're told to factorize 3x plus 6. All right, the first step in factorizing is figuring out what do the two terms have in common. Okay, by that we mean what divides into both of them. All right, so what divides into 3x and also divides into 6? It's 3. Okay, so 3 divides into this and 3 divides into this. Okay, so in the next step, I take that 3 that they have in common and I take it outside the bracket. So it's going to be 3 multiplied by something in my answer. Okay, because I'm taking 3 out and multiplying by it, I need to divide both of these by 3. So whatever you take out in front here in your bracket, you're going to divide by that inside the bracket. So it's this term here, 3x divided by the 3, plus, and then the other term, 6 divided by 3. Okay, last line your answer then. The 3 outside the bracket is going to stay the same. You're just going to do that division then inside the bracket. Okay, so 3x divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it's 1x, or just x. You can write 1x, it's the same thing. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. And that's done. Okay, so when you factorize, your answer should be something multiplied by something. So here I've got 3 multiplied by x plus 2. So your answer when you factorize should always be 2 things multiplied together. All right. You can always check your answer with these ones by multiplying them out. So if you multiply this out, if you expand it, you should get back to your question. So if I did 3 multiplied by x, I would get 3x. If I did 3 multiplied by 2, I would get 6. Okay, so you can always check your answers with these ones. Next example then, the 6x squared plus 9xy. All right, again, I'm looking for what divides into both. So it's 3 again. 3 divides into 6 and 3 divides into 9. But you also need to check if there's any letters common to both, any letters which will divide into both of them. And I've got an x squared here and an x here. So I can also take x outside that bracket. Okay, so x is also a factor. This one's got a y, but this one doesn't, so I can't take y out. All right, so outside my bracket this time is going to be the 3 that divides into both coefficients, both numbers out in front, and then x as well, okay? But it is just x I can take out, because this one just has an x. This one has x squared, but this one just has x, so I can only take the x out. So brackets, whatever you take outside that bracket, you're going to divide both of these by it. So you're going to get 6x squared divided by 3x, and then 9xy divided by 3x. So this is equal to the 3x outside the bracket, and then actually do the division inside the bracket. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. X squared divided by x. So you can write that as x to the power of 1 if you want, and then subtracting the powers here. So x squared divided by x to the power of 1 is x to the power of 1, or just x. Plus 9 divided by 3 is 3. X divided by x just cancels, okay? And then you're just left with the y that was on top. So there's your answer, something multiplied by something. If you multiply it out, 3x multiplied by 2x is 6x squared. 3x multiplied by 3y is 9xy. So I have the right answer. Last one that I'm going to do on this page, 4x squared minus 20y. Okay, so just something you need to be careful with here. Okay, so I said you're looking for what's common to both. There's no letters common to both here. There's x squared here, but there's only y's here, so there's no letters common. But there is something which will divide into both numbers. Okay, now the reason I say be careful here is because 2 does divide into both of those. Okay, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 20 divided by 2 is 10. But when you're factorising, you always need to factorise or take out the highest common factor. Okay, so the highest or biggest number you could divide or take out. So 4 and 20, they're both divisible by 4 as well. So it's the 4 that you need to take outside the bracket, not 2 or any other smaller factors that might be there. So it's 4 outside the bracket. So then 4x squared divided by 4 minus 20y divided by 4. And that's equal to, again, just 4 brackets. 4x squared divided by 4 is just x squared minus 20y divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So 5y. And again, if you multiply that out, 4x squared, 4 by minus 5y is minus 20y. So it works. All right, I've done it right. Just a couple more examples to do. So 8a plus 6a plus 12, and again, I've been asked to factorise it. There's 3 terms here, but you do it the exact same way. Okay, what is common to all of them? Even a here and a here, no a here. So you can't factorize a out. Okay, it would need to be common to all 3 terms. So if there was an a here, fire away and factorize it out. There's not an a there. Okay, so I can't. What number divides into all of them? 2 does. So 2 goes into 8, 2 goes into 6, 2 goes into 12. 4 goes into both of those, but doesn't go into the 6, so you can't factorize 4 out. 6 divides into those 2, but doesn't go into the 8. Okay, so you can't take 6 out. So it is 2. 2 is the highest common factor that divides into all 3 terms. Okay, so 2 outside your bracket, and then divide each of these terms by 2. So 8a divided by 2, 6a divided by 2, and 12 divided by 2. So that's equal to, again, it's 2 brackets. 8a divided by 2 is 4a. 6a divided by 2 is 3a. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Again, if you want, you can multiply it out to check your answer. 2 by 4a is 8a, 2 by 3a is 6a, 2 by 6 is 12. All right, and then the last example I do is this one here. So this is meant to be 5x squared, that's supposed to be. So 5x squared y squared minus 30x squared y. Okay, so looks a bit trickier, but same method. All right, what number divides into both of these? 5 and 30. 5 divides into both of them. X is common to both, and I've got x squared there and x squared there, so I can take out the x squared. All right, so you'll take out the highest power of whatever letter is there that you can. And then you've got a y squared and just a y. So you can only factorize out y, or y to the power of 1. You can't factorize out the y squared because you don't have enough here. So just y. So whatever you take outside the bracket, you need to divide both of these by it. So you're going to have 5x squared y squared divided by 5x squared y minus 30x squared y divided by 5x squared y. This is equal to, again, you just have your 5x squared y outside the bracket. 5 divided by 5 is 1. X squared divided by x squared is also 1, or cancels. Y squared divided by y. So y to the power of 2 divided by y to the power of 1 is just y, or y to the power of 1. You can write it either way. Minus 30 divided by 5 is 6. X squared divided by x squared is 1, or it cancels. Y divided by 1 is 1, or it cancels. So I'm done. Okay, again, multiply it out to check it if you want. 5x squared y by y. Y by y is y squared, so 5x squared y squared. Yep. 5x squared y by minus 6 plus by a minus is a minus. 5 by 6 is 30. X squared y, x squared y. All right. So just bear in mind when you're factorizing these, you must factorize out the highest common factor. So in that previous example where I had 4 and 20, I think, 2 would divide into both of them, but so would 4, and it's the higher number you want to divide in. Okay, so you need to divide in the highest common factor. It's the highest one you need to take outside that bracket. All right, your answer will always be something multiplied by something. So don't forget, this is 2 multiplied by all of this. Okay, you can check your answer by multiplying them out as well. Okay, so the ones I'm going to give you to do in the book, for some of them, for the first, I think 18, they kind of do that for you. They tell you what the highest common factor is going to be. So they'll tell you that it's 2 that you need to take out. In this one here, they would tell you that it's 5x squared y that you need to take out. And then from question 19 on, just like I've done in all my examples, you need to figure out what that highest common factor is.